I don't even want to show my face in there anymore, so. Yeah. Y'all, I wasn't even supposed to film today, and I can't even make this shit up. Like, I really can't. I jinxed myself the other day when I made the video about not really caring about oh, my nose. So I jinxed myself the other day when I made the video about not really caring about changing my dead name, because it's not often that I have situations that get brought up that put me on the spot. But today, people really trying me. They're really trying me. But before we hop into the video, my name's Kyle, aka Prince Kyle, don't forget it. And I have an Instagram as well as a TikTok where I share my FTM transition as well as share tips about my transition for anybody that wants to hear about it. So without further ado, let's just hop into this story because people really trying me. Today I had to pick up my new prescription for my testosterone, and I moved to a different town, so I switched my pharmacy to a place called CVS. I don't know if CVS's are everywhere, but for those of you that know what CVS is. And so I went in there and there was nobody in line, but there was somebody being helped in front of me, and there was only one cashier. So by the time it was my turn to go up there, a line had formed. So there were multiple people behind me, and everybody was starting to get frustrated because the one cashier was taking forever and there was nobody else to help. So everybody was already on edge and paying attention to every single person that was up next. So of course, I was up next. And when I went up there, I'm used to my old pharmacy. They already know who I am. They already know my situation. Everything is really, really quick. I'm in and out, no problems. Well, since I now go to this new place, they don't know me, they don't know anything about my situation. And so I went up there and they were like, okay, what are you picking up? Or what's the name that you're picking up for? And I always say my last name just to avoid my first name. And usually people, they get it and they're like, okay, so your last name, whatever. So I told them my last name and they were like, well, what's your first name?
Really, nigga?
And I had to tell them my first name, so I proceeded to say my first name. The entire line behind me heard, whatever. That could happen to anybody. I wasn't even that messed up about it. And then she asks, oh yeah, we have a prescription for you. And I was like, all right, cool. So she proceeds to gather my things, and I noticed she only has one bag. And I not only needed my testosterone, but I needed my syringes because I ran out of syringes. And I was like, oh, do you happen to know if they placed an order for my syringes? And she was like, oh, there's a back order on them. They don't have them right now. Let me see if there's a different type of needle that you can use temporarily. So I was like, okay, cool. Out loud, she was like,
so are you injecting it yourself?
And I was like, yeah. And the whole line is dead quiet because, again, they're all frustrated. They all just want to get in and out. So they're just listening to every person that goes up to see how long it's going to take. And so she was like, okay, let me ask and see if there's a different type of needle you could use. Rather than walking over to the person, she proceeds to yell to the person all the way in the back.
This man wants to know if there's a different type of syringe that he can use, because typically he uses this one to draw out the testosterone, and then he uses this one to inject himself.
And I'm like, bro, why are you announcing that? Like, go back there. Like, I don't know about you guys, or if any of you guys work in a pharmacy, but I could have swore that you have to be kind of confidential with people's information and what their medication is, because not everybody wants their business out there. So I didn't need the whole entire line, knowing that, one, I'm either transgender, or two, I'm a male with just a low testosterone count, because I wouldn't want anybody to really know that either. So it's just like, why are you announcing this information? I'm extremely confused. So then, whatever, I still just let it go. I was fine. And then he came up and he was like,
we only have this needle and this needle. Will this one be okay to inject your testosterone?
I promise you guys, it was like every time they said testosterone, they had a loudspeaker. Like, it's like they were trying to make it a point for the entire store to hear. And I'm just like, yeah, this'll do. Knowing it wouldn't work, because I know what needles I need, and I knew the ones they were giving me would not work. And so I just wanted to get out of there. So I was just like, yep, these are great, awesome, just pay the $5, I don't care, and let me get out of here. But it was just super frustrating, because not only did they hear my birth name, because at the end of the day, I know they could have just used my last name, and then they also had me show ID, which I get. You want to just double check, cool, great. But like, you could have just asked for the last name and then asked for the ID and made sure the last names matched, and then made sure the first names matched on the thing without having to outwardly ask me, because you kind of probably knew it was an uncomfortable thing. And I know some of you guys might say, well, Kyle, get your name changed. You can't help, or the people can't help that they don't know that you don't go by that name when that is in fact your legal name. And I get it, but I don't know, maybe I am just considerate and I think a little bit harder than some people, and I just process things where like, this could be like a touchy subject, how about let me go about this a different way, just in case. But maybe that's just me, because I personally go through these things all the time, so I just know to like think before speaking or think before acting. But it was just really frustrating, because one, she asked me my name, and I get it, I had to say it, and I tried to say it discreetly, but again, there was a line of like 10 people, and it was very quiet, so I know they heard my birth name, and my birth name, yet again, is not the manliest of names, because it wasn't given to me because I was predicted to be male. It was given to me because I was predicted to be female, therefore the name is pretty feminine. And when I announced that, but then they're yelling to the back that he needs his testosterone, I can just only imagine that the whole entire line put two and two together, that this was a transgender man who is now on testosterone and was assigned female at birth. They might as well just announced it to the entire line and said, hey, yep, this kid that you're looking at right here, he's transgender, and he's on hormone replacement therapy, and he's about to go home and inject himself. And yeah, I really can't make this stuff up. Like, I don't know. My life is just extremely cringy, and I really jinxed it when I said, oh, it's no big deal, I don't need to change my name right away. Like, nothing ever happens. I never have any awkward encounters. And then, here we go. Awkward encounter after awkward encounter. Like, I feel like ever since I made that video, like 4 days ago, I feel like ever since I've just had like these extremely cringy moments that had to do with my birth name. So, yet again, you guys need to be on me to get my name changes here, because I just don't want to have to deal with this stuff anymore. Like, I mean, for the longest, I really didn't have to deal with it. It was very rare that I had situations, but it is every time that I switch to something new, a new doctor, a new pharmacy, something where nobody knew me prior, that's the only time I have an issue. And yes, I dealt with it for a while, but now I'm just at a point where it's time to wrap it up, because we can't keep doing this. So yeah, that is my unexpected story time that came out of nowhere. And again, I wasn't even supposed to film today, but I needed to tell you this one, because it sucked. So from now on, just so you guys know, my girlfriend will be picking up my prescriptions from that pharmacy, so I don't have to deal with it anymore, because I don't even want to show my face in there anymore. So yeah, that is all for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Now that it's over, yeah, it's kind of funny, but just know I was crying inside. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.